Today's episode is a fun one. You guys have been asking me for this for probably since I did the Men of the Zodiac podcast episode, which, if you are new here and you haven't heard the Men of the Zodiac podcast episode, I suggest you go listen to that one maybe after listening to this one, because today's one is Women of the Zodiac. Yes. Just like how in Men of the Zodiac, I dragged every single star sign from Aries all the way through to Pisces. Today, I will be dragging every single woman star sign from Aries through to Pisces in order. Yes. Now, this drag will be a loving drag. It will be a constructive drag. It will be a comedic drag. But most importantly, it will be an insightful drag. No star sign is perfect. We are not just one astrological placement. If you are in any way familiar with astrology beyond your sun sign, which is known as your star sign, then you might be aware that you also have a moon placement and a rising placement, meaning that whilst you may have, for example, a Gemini sun, you might have a Sagittarius moon and a Taurus rising, because your rising sign is determined by what time you were born and where in the world you were born. So if you have access to that information, date of birth, year of birth, time of birth, place of birth, you can find an accurate chart of your astrological placements accurately in each house. Now, this might sound like gobbledygook jargon, but I promise you, astrology is more than just stereotypes and labels assigned to various star signs. Astrology is a way to be able to understand yourself and other people, whilst being able to make room for things that you might be needing to grow at, or accommodating other people's deficiencies. You know, not everyone is going to be on the same wavelength as you, even if you're the same star sign. So why don't we get into the good stuff and get this dragon going? So we are going to start with Aries, which is the first sign in the zodiac. Now, I want to preface this again by saying that you may or may not identify with the traits I mention, because you are not just one sign. However, there will be commonalities amongst particular star signs, just like how there are commonalities amongst particular groups of people who belong to a particular nationality or social group. So with Aries, well, Aries being the first sign in the zodiac and being the youngest sign in the zodiac, y'all can be childish. Childish as in, you know, I don't want to just call it immaturity, because I think it's deeper than that. I think there is an element of just wanting things to be done your way at a speed and wanting people to just understand you. And there is a competitive element to Aries. Yes, you guys are a fire sign. Aries are ruled by the planet Mars. Mars is known as the god of war. Aries is a cardinal sign. So cardinal signs kick off the seasons. As a cardinal sign, you lot be starting shit you don't always finish, but that's okay, because in astrology, we have cardinal signs for a reason, we have mutable signs for a reason, and we have fixed signs. The job of the cardinal sign is to provide ideas and, you know, inspiration and possible ways to do things. The mutable sign, they're kind of like the middleman. You know, mutable signs, they are kind of everywhere. They help provide the gum and the glue to get things in motion. And then it's the fixed signs that see things to completion and actually focus on finishing things and making it happen. So as a cardinal sign, Aries, I don't blame you for being impulsive and starting what you can't always finish. It do be annoying sometimes, though. Y'all can be argumentative. Yeah. Yeah. You're a fire sign, so that's not going to change. Yeah. Another thing that I noticed about Aries women is you guys can be bratty. Which is cute, though, because if you guys are dating men, I think it's important to have an element of brattiness to your personality. I think it helps to be a little bratty, because it gives men something to work towards, and that push-pull matters. Little boss. You guys are like, you know, the Powerpuff Girls? So the Powerpuff Girls is a cartoon that was aired in the UK through the 2000s, and it was three girls, Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. And I do think Aries is like Buttercup, the green one, who be like crying and fighting. You guys like being put first, which I think is really cute. I love that for you guys. You do have a temper and you will cuss your man out, and I think you should keep that trait. It matters. Be the boss that you are. Would I date an Aries if I was a man? What am I saying? If I was a man, as a woman who's attracted to women, I mean, I don't date women yet, but would I date an Aries woman? It depends on which of the Aries traits she has a like predominant portion of. So, for example, if she's the type of woman that's gonna like fight on my behalf, because Aries, you lot can fight. You lot can fight if you want to. Like, you lot are actually strong. Like, if she can fight for me, then yeah. Like, if she's a kickboxer, it's giving kickboxer energy, then maybe yeah. Let's move on to Taurus. Taurus. Well, and this is not a bad sign, but it's just here we go. You lot are stuck in your ways. I do love me Tauruses though. I've got a few Taurus friends. Shout out to you lot. Love you guys. You lot are stuck in your ways. Yes. You lot have your little comfort things that you like to do, whether it's comfort food or your comfort blanket or your there's something about comfort that is a running theme in your life. Now, I think Tauruses are very tactile lovers. Like, Tauruses, whether they're men or women, oftentimes, yeah, Tauruses like to be very touchy-feely with their lovers. Like, they love the whole, like, hand-holding and finger twirling and, like, you know, be all, like, nestled in their lover's neck and shit. Like, I think Tauruses can be quite clingy as well. You guys are going to beat my ass for saying that, but I do think you guys are clingy. Like, once you like your person, you're latched. And it's hard for you to fucking leave when it's not working. And I do notice that this is oftentimes an air sign thing. Air sign. Taurus is not an air sign. Taurus is an earth sign. Remember I said earth signs are Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn, if you've listened in my past episodes. But if you're not familiar, well, the three earth signs are Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. Taurus is a fixed earth sign. Fixed signs don't find it very easy to walk away from something that they've invested their time in. Mutable signs and cardinal signs don't really have that problem as much. Mutable signs, Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces. And you know what? Yeah. Wait, have I missed one? Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces. There's an air sign that I haven't included. That's mutable air. Oh yeah, Gemini. Don't mind me. Anyway, mutable signs don't have as much of an issue when it comes to walking away from things they may have invested their time in that isn't working. Same with the cardinal signs like Aries, Cancer. What's the third? What's the Earth cardinal sign? We got Virgo. We got Taurus. We got. We'll get there. But anyway, cardinal signs, they don't be, yeah, Capricorn, that's it. Capricorn is the third cardinal sign. So, Aries, Cancer, Capricorn. They don't be having issue with walking away from things if it ain't working. As much as the fixed signs have an issue. Fixed signs, it's like, once you're fixed, like you're committed. It's a tough one. So to clear that up and be extra explicitly clear, the fixed signs, Scorpio is a fixed water sign. Aquarius is a fixed air sign. Taurus is a fixed earth sign. So on the topic of Taurus, goodness, and Leo is a fixed fire sign. on the topic, oh my goodness, of Taurus, you guys are stuck in your ways. Like, you guys are the ones that be calling to complain about your man and then you won't leave. Oh, it's so irritating. I used to have a friend like that, and I used to, emphasis on used to. She ain't a bad person. You know, I wish her well, but used to have a friend who was a Taurus. And it got to a stage in our friendship where, like, all we were talking about was her just complaining about this man that she's not trying to leave. And it was just so irritating because it's like, I understand why you like him. Doesn't mean it's serving you though, babe. If you're calling me to complain about something that you know is not going to change anytime soon, then you're either going to have to stop calling me about it and just suck it up and stay there, since you like the struggle and the strife so much, or leave. You're not married to him. Leave. You're still young. That's what gets me irritated about Tauruses. But it's all love though. It's all love. I understand that there are layers and complexities as to why people want to stay with men who are not good for them. Especially when there is sexual chemistry. Goodness me. And I know that, like, Taurus, I do think that Tauruses probably do be having some great sexy activities, because Taurus and Scorpio exist on the same axis. They are opposite signs, also known as sister signs. So Taurus is a fixed earth sign, as I said earlier. Scorpio is a fixed water sign. Meaning they both share certain tendencies. Sexy activities being one of them. Tauruses as well, I think, like, they do love expensive stuff. Like, I do think a lot of Tauruses, they enjoy the feeling of receiving gifts. Like, Taurus women, I think you lot should just embrace your nature. Stop suppressing your desire to be spoiled. Okay? You're allowed to want to be spoiled because you deserve it. I think another thing with Taurus women is, you know, they really do be the hoodie swipers. Like, they will swipe your hoodie because they want to smell you. Like, Taurus women, because remember, Taurus governs over the senses. It is a very sensual sign. Smells, texture, taste, sound. Like, they love the sound of their lover's voice. They love the smell of their lover. They just want to engulf themselves in your body's smell. Like, they want your hoodie for that reason. And also, it's a thing where, like, Tauruses, they're like little magpies. They're like little collectors. I wouldn't be, if you're from the UK, specifically London, specifically South London, as a child, you might have gone to the Horniman Museum, which is a museum that comprises of collected items owned by a man called Mr. Horniman. Mr. Horniman was a collector, a hoarder, if you will. I would not be surprised if Mr. Horniman was a Taurus or had some sort of, like, Taurus stellium or just a significant Taurus placement. A stellium in astrology is when you have, like, I want to say 3 or more planets in Taurus. This will make more sense if you look up an astrological birth chart and you start to familiarize yourself with words like stellium, birth chart, astrological houses. Astrology is so fascinating, honestly. Like, I love astrology. So I'm really happy to be doing this episode. Before we go on to Gemini, I just want to first of all thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this conversation. Thank you for being a listener of this podcast. And I want to send a big, massive hug to my Patreon subscribers over at patreon.com/theslumflower. And if you aren't a part of my Patreon, what are you waiting for? What is holding you up? Are you in traffic? Has your train stalled? Did your phone die? What's keeping you over at patreon.com/the Slumflower, we have a one-tiered membership system. That's right, called the Disobedient Deviants tier, because we are very disobedient over here and we do engage ourselves in some disobedient activities. Yes, like having extra episodes where we go deeper into topics that I feel would cause problems if I share them on my main podcast outlets. And I say that because if you see my comments section on Instagram, when I post Instagram reels, which are snippets from the podcast, people be causing a ruckus and getting annoyed, mainly men, sometimes women, which is really shameful to see. But that's why I thought, let me create a separate domain where we can have our discourse in peace. So yes, bonus podcast episodes. I also twice a month share mini episodes, which are thought streams that you guys have asked me for. And you have voting power. So you get to vote on what topics I discuss on the podcast. The previous episode to this one, if you are listening to my podcast in chronological order, was raising your self-esteem while dating. And that particular episode topic was voted for by my patrons over at patreon.com/the Slumflower. Not only do you have voting power, access to bonus episodes, and twice a month, monthly episodes. Oh my goodness, my brain. Twice a month mini episodes. You also have access to a 65-page guide called the Dilemma Manual. And that 65-page guide is complimentary, aka free, if you are a patron over at patreon.com/the Slumflower. And in that 65-page guide called the Dilemma Manual, you get to read scenarios women have sent me, and I share my insights. And essentially, the Dilemma Manual will give you insight on whether you should keep or leave that guy. Yes. I also answer your dilemma questions as they come in. So recently I answered a question in quite long form, actually, written about dating and having a therapist and discussing your dating outlook with your therapist. And I talked about my experience with that with my therapist, who I really adore. And it's been 5 years with my therapist, and soon I will be ending my therapy with her. Not because she's done anything wrong, but because it's naturally getting to that place. But, it's something I've spoken with her in the past about. I just don't always feel comfortable talking about my dating outlook with her because I just feel like, not that she's judging me, but I just feel like when I talk about money and men, the word transactional comes up and I'm like, oh, here we go. But she doesn't mean it in a bad vibe way. I just think it's anyway, I go into this in my Patreon most recent post where I talk about my outlook on dating and discussing it with your therapist, and how sometimes our therapists can confuse us a little bit without them trying to. But I just think sometimes there are ways you're going to think that your therapist is not going to agree with, but sometimes you got to still have that belief. So that's something that I've recently spoken about amongst other dilemmas you guys have sent me. There's also a group chat in the Patreon, which is constantly popping off. I try not to interfere too much, but once in a while I chime in and I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I'll share my little 2 pence. The other day, someone shared in the group chat about a guy offering them or inviting them out on a date through a dating app. And it got to the day of the date, and by that point, he hadn't still suggested where the date was going to happen, what time they're going to meet. And this woman was worrying, is the date going to happen or not? And my response was something along the lines of, look, if I don't hear from that man on the day of the date in the afternoon, and our date is for 7, 8, if I haven't heard from him in the afternoon, I'm assuming it's not happening, because what I'm not about to do is start getting ready at 5-ish, start rubbing my Fenty, leave my house only for you to not be there. And I don't want to have to reach out to you as a man and be like, oh, are we still on for today? No, I'm assuming it's not happening. I'm gonna stay at home, save myself some TFL money. If that man is excited and giddy about seeing you, I promise you, he will message you hours before the date. Ample amount of time. He will message you beforehand and be like, are we still on for today? I'm looking forward to seeing you. You know, you will feel that enthusiasm. You won't have to wonder. If you have to wonder and you've not even met yet, that is not a good sign. Men are supposed to start as they mean to go on. Yeah? So that's what I dive into in the Patreon. So to wrap this up before we go back into talking about star signs, over at the Disobedient Deviants tier, which is priced at a 10 pounder. It's £10. Yeah, I made it one tier so that wherever you are financially, it's the best I can do to accommodate people in the middle while still being able to make money off my work. So you have a 65-page guide, the Dilemma Manual, whether you should keep or leave that guy. Yes, you have access to bonus episodes that are too risque to go on the main podcast outlets. You also have twice a month mini episodes. Yes. You have voting power on what I'm going to be talking about in my podcast episodes. I also answer your dilemma questions in long form so that maybe if 5 other people have the same problem, I answer it on the feed of my Patreon so that people can get insight without having to ask the same question. And of course, there is a group chat where you guys can talk amongst yourselves, share some intel, get to know each other, form community. Come and join us over at the Disobedient Deviants tier. Would love to see you there. In the meantime, even if you're not ready to join, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for enjoying this podcast. And let's go back into dragging the astrological signs. Gemini women, you lot talk too much. Yeah? In the past on this podcast, I have spoken about women oversharing things with men. And surprisingly, each time I'm about to say something and I say surprisingly, is it really that surprising? But it is surprising. Surprisingly, in a past podcast episode, I spoke about lying to men and why you should learn to lie more often to men. And come and see women in my notifications being like, well, I'm a truthful person. I don't lie. I think that if you're lying to a man, you can't have a genuine relationship. Wow. Tell me more, Miss Truthful Tabitha. Tell me more about being Miss Genuine Gina. Tell me more. Since you are the truth teller of the village and I'm a lying Satanist that all I know how to do is just lie. Because that's really how people make it out to be. When I say it, I think you should just lie to men more often. Stop telling them every single truth of yours. There's a time and a place for your truth. And certain truths deserve to be earned. Because it takes trust to tell your full truth to a man, especially if you don't even know him that well. There's no way you should be on dating apps telling men what happened to you when you were 5. Why are you doing that? That is deeply personal information. But Gemini women, you lot are at a predisposition for talking too much, oversharing information as a way to bond. I get it. Like, it is within your default to be talkative if you are one of those kind of Geminis. Because remember, like I've been saying since the beginning of this episode, like not every sign will have the exact same traits for every single person. But there are commonalities. Talking too much is a key commonality. You think that you can fast track the bond with the person you like by oversharing details about yourself. You're putting yourself in danger. It's not me you're doing, it's yourself you're doing. Yeah? As someone with a Gemini moon, in astrology, your moon sign governs the way you behave when you are with people that you really, really trust. It's like the other side of you that is a little bit more delicate and sensitive. Gemini moon. When I'm around people I'm comfortable with, I'll be talking a lot about stuff that doesn't really tie up conceptually. Like, I just be saying shit. I am also a deep overthinker. I'm like a jack in the box. I am comedic and I can be quite childlike. Gemini is a very childlike sign. Gemini can be quite unpredictable. As a woman, the goal is to be unpredictable. Yes, there will be things about you that are predictable and expected, especially if someone knows you very well. But there always needs to be an element of you that reserves room for surprise, bitch. Like, I like that. I like that trait of Gemini. Gemini reminds me of that meme, that go to bed Maya Angelou meme. So that go to bed Maya Angelou meme is there's this meme where, you know, it's a drawing of two people lying down in bed, and I guess they finished having sex, and then the woman decides she wants to start talking about social issues and philosophy, and the man's like, go to bed Maya Angelou. Reminds me of Gemini, like such a Gemini thing. Like, you guys just talking. I think there are ways to talk a lot about yourself without revealing that much about yourself, you know. And Gemini, if evolved, can really learn how to fine tune that skill. Yes, and that will save you. Not only will it save you, it'll put you in the right rooms, you know, because Gemini have a strength of talking a big game. You guys know how to talk a big game about yourselves. You do. If you are confident in yourself, you can blag your way into any room, because it's about using that external charm and charisma to get your way. Gemini, you guys need to learn tact. Gemini women need to learn tact, because I think your biggest downfall with men is oversharing with them too soon. You say too much. Not every thought needs to be said out loud. Not every feeling needs to be shared as it comes in. You don't need to be a fucking news correspondent. Oh, that's it. I'm getting news right now from the reporting desk that I'm catching feelings for you as we speak. News just in. I like you. Like, just because the news is just in doesn't mean you need to tell him immediately. Wait till more sources confirm. Wait till it feels better and feels right, and you feel like you can trust that person before you be going and sharing things. Because once you've shared it, it's really hard to take it back. And this is another thing with sharing things, it's really hard to take back. Oh my goodness, yeah. When I was a bit younger, I say a bit because this would have been like maybe 2-3 years ago. I was the worst person to get into arguments with. Like, if I'm dating men, one guy, I said some really horrible things to him. Do I regret it? No. But I said some really horrible things to him. And I remember he said to me that, like, when you're arguing via text, you need to be really mindful of what you say, because you can't take it back. Like, once you've written it down, you've written it down. Yeah, you can delete the text on your end, so you don't have any recollection of it in your phone. But as long as that person has access to the text that you sent them, those words will live as long as they have that text, if that makes sense. So even if you're like, I regret saying that, sorry, you still said it though. Still said it. So pick your words. It's a hard one, because I have a knife in my mouth at all times, also known as a tongue. I am always ready to go off. However, I don't abuse that power. Like, I'm learning as I'm getting older, especially when dealing with men, to not go down the route of cussing them out when they hurt my feelings, because that gives them too much. Like, it's just, they know that you're pressed. Gemini, they know you're pressed when you're pulling out all your weapons to cuss them out and shoot them out the sky and insult them and empty the rifle on them. You got to learn how to use language in a very succinct manner to clearly communicate your point and leave. It's a skill that you learn as you get older, Gemini. I'm telling you, I used to be very horrible. But there's still some things that, I mean, do I regret? I'm thinking about a different guy now. Do I regret what I said to this guy? Sometimes I regret it, sometimes I don't, because out of nowhere, I'll randomly remember something that happened between me and him. Then I'll be like, actually, you know what? He did deserve me to cuss him out. And he did deserve me to leave him in that way. And then other times I'll be like, damn, but I was really mean to him. Oh, well, though. Like, anything you say, Gemini, please be ready to stand by it. Yeah? Because there is an impulse and an uncontrollable element to wanting to say what's on your mind immediately. That doesn't always serve you, Gemini. Please keep that in mind. Let's move on to Cancer. Cancer is a water sign. Unlike Gemini, which is a mutable air sign, Cancer is a water sign, a cardinal water sign. So Cancer also be starting shit that they don't always finish. Cancer, I think you're going to expect me to say this at some point because it's a very typical thing with Cancer. Fucking sensitive. I don't know though. Out of Cancer men and Cancer women, I don't know who's more sensitive. Because the stereotype is that, oh, women are sensitive. So we expect for Cancer women to be seen as the more sensitive ones. But Cancer man, I try to avoid Cancer men. Like once I hear that man is a Cancer, I'm like, oh, great. He's a Cancer. Need to prepare myself for some emotional blackmail at some point. Need to prepare myself for him acting up and acting out. Need to expect that at some point he may be a little bit manipulative. It's a water sign thing. Emotional manipulation is something that is often associated with water signs. Because water as a element in astrology governs over the emotional territory. Air as an element in astrology governs over thoughts. Earth as an element in astrology governs over physical things. So that's why earth signs, Virgos. That's why earth signs, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, are usually labeled as like possessive. That's why air signs, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, are often referred to as like flighty and flaky and talking a lot. And they're the ideas people, because thoughts, ideas, words, communication, that is an air sign territory. And that's why water sign people are often referred to as emotional. So the water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Focusing on Cancer here. Cancer women, you know what? I'll give it to you guys, yeah? You lot do have this ability to really nurture people. Love that for you guys. I think that's really beautiful. Very nurturing, if you want to be. I do think you guys take things personally a lot. You can be really sensitive over the wrong things. But, you know, wrong is subjective, innit? Because if someone is sensitive over something, it's justified to them. But, like, I roll half the time. Do I have any Cancer friends? Let me think. Cancer women friends. Actually, I have one. I have one. She's a sensitive bean. I love her. She's got a Sag rising, so she's a party girl. A sensitive party girl. I love her. But I do think that Cancer women be doing a lot. You lot be in relationships with men, yeah, and you just don't want to leave because it's this whole idea of like, you want to see it through. You believe you can change. You're fixated on this vision that you have for the future, so you're willing to stick it through. I'm only eye rolling because there have been times when I've sat through having to hear women just complaining about men they don't want to leave. Similar to what I was saying with Taurus earlier. Whilst Taurus is a fixed earth sign, so you can attribute their inability to leave situations that aren't good for them to them just being like fixated, with Cancer being a cardinal water sign. It's like their inability to leave comes from this place of like, it's in their nature to just want to nurture. So they will nurture a situation. If it's not working, they will just be like, well, it's like if a plant is dying, right? You'd be like, oh, maybe it needs more sun. Maybe I need to reposition it. Maybe I need to repot it. Maybe I need to water it differently. Maybe I need to use filtered water. Maybe I need to change the humidity in the room. Like with a relationship, it's almost like you're treating it like a plant. Like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but what I am saying is that like sometimes just get a new plant, babe. Sorry, Cancer, but You guys need to be careful, Cancer, because you lot be attracting the men who need somewhere to live. Oh, Cancer women be attracting homeless men. And I'm not even talking homeless as in like living on the streets in a sleeping bag. I'm talking homeless men who they just get by on sleeping in women's couches and finishing the food in women's fridge. Like that type of homeless. Like Cancer women need to be really careful because they be attracting the men who have mommy issues. Cancer women owe it to themselves to be a lot more vigilant and picky with men because it's already in your nature to want to nurture. So of course, if you find a man who is going through it, you're gonna see him like a little wounded animal, like a bird you've rescued. You're gonna want to help him and nurse him to health. Please, Miss Herbalist, Crystal Collector, go and use that energy somewhere else. Leave that man alone. He'll be fine. I promise you, he'll be fine. It's not your job to be that man's rehab. You are not any less of a loving beam of light if you leave a man to go fix his problems elsewhere. I think it's really possible, very possible, to love men from afar and not interfere with their process. Like if that man is going through it and his problems are the signs of a mountain, that is not an invitation for you to accept the challenge of climbing that mountain, girl. Like not every mountain must be climbed, you know? Some mountains are there to be observed. You can pick up the rocks on the floor and be like, wow, look at the shape of this rock. Wow. What colourful rocks this mountain has. Wow. That's fascinating. Leave the rock alone and be going. Carry on your trail. Focus on your own journey. Do not get sidetracked by a man. Cancer women are at a disposition. I feel like I have to spend time saying this, repeating it, reiterating it. Cancer women need to be really careful with what type of man they pick because regardless of who they pick, Cancer women are always going to be nurturers to some degree. And I do think that if I was a man, I would go for a Cancer woman because she's going to make sure I'm fed. She's going to want to do the traditional wife thing. Like, I do feel like Cancer women low-key be having that traditional wife fantasy. Like, they actually do want to cook and clean for their man. Like, if that's your truth, home girl, you do your thing, innit? I ain't judging. You do your thing. Just make sure that it's a man who is looking after you, and just make sure that if you don't want to cook and clean that day, there are alternative methods to ensure that the task is done, whether it's him hiring cleaners or a cook. You cook and clean because you want to, not because you have to. But yeah, I just can't. Cancer women, please be careful, be vigilant. Not every man deserves your nurturing. Not every man deserves your love. You guys have got this really nice big sister energy going on. Do love me, a Cancer woman, but you guys attract a lot of codependency, so just be very careful. It's for your own good, you know? It's not me you're doing, but I just think Cancer women, men target women like you because you lot see the good in people. You be skipping past the red flag. No, but I see the good in him. All right, well, why isn't the good you see in him present in this relationship? Why is it that the good you see in him only comes out when you're defending his behavior? Like, why are you with a man you have to defend, first of all? I'll leave that to you to think about. Let's move on to Leo. Leo is the 5th sign in the zodiac. Leo is a fixed fire sign. So the other 2 fire signs are Aries and Sagittarius. Aries we touched on at the beginning of this conversation. Aries is a cardinal fire sign. Leo is a fixed fire sign. And Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign. We're talking about Leo though. So Leo, the fixed fire sign, Miss Party Girl, Miss Center of Attention. I do love me a Leo, I can't lie. When I think about women who I've had fun with in the past, like in terms of like going out and just like dressing up and just really just being outside, it really has been Leo women. If it's not been Leo women, it's been fire sign women. It's usually Sagittarius and Leo that I enjoy the most. I've enjoyed the most sort of like energy with. In the past anyway, though. When I was more outside than I am now. But Leo women, my goodness, you lot love a fucking power couple Pinterest board, don't you? I don't blame you though. Power couple is nice. It's nice. Just depends on what the power is in that couple. Like, what is it that you aspire to exude in that power couple? Because a classic power couple that comes to mind, who are both Leos, is like Stormzy and Maya. They're both Leos. Did you know that? They're both Leos. That's like the typical classic image of like power couple. And why I think they're a great example in this particular conversation of what a power couple looks like and operates like is because the woman in this situation has her own thing going for her, and independent of the man, she is adored for her own traits and work and qualities and her own confidence. And then the man in this situation, he has his own thing going for him. He's like really, really loved and looked up to by men. And then the woman, she's also really loved and looked up to by women. So together they make a power couple. But the emphasis here is that both of these two people whose names I just mentioned, they have their own thing going for them and they both earned it in their own right. Now, if you are not a celebrity, but you're still a Leo woman who enjoys the idea of a power couple, I feel like the power has to be like your man is minted and he's all about you and he looks good. Like, if I'm putting my Leo wig on, thinking how a Leo woman would think, like I would be a woman who like goes for looks and likes flashy looking guys. Like, you know those guys who like to wear the little finger ring with the diamond, with the rhinestones on it, the diamante something something. Like, I would be that kind of gal. Like, I would be the kind of gal who like, you know, how do I explain it? Like, what's that? There's like a London girl look. The ones that like to date their scammers. No shade, okay? I have taken money from a scammer before. This wasn't even that long ago, but no shade in it. But like, you know, the London girls who like, I can't explain it, but there's something about, like, that's not my crowd at all. It's not my crowd at all. No shade, girlies, but like, I don't know what to talk about with you guys. Like, you guys love your shisha. You know, you guys go to your shisha lounges. You always got your nails did. The bust down lace frontal. That lace is glued, melted, gummed to your hairline. You guys wear things like, Yagi World. What's that trouser that all the bad bitch girls be wearing? Yagi World trouser. Anytime I see a girl wearing Yagi World, I don't even need her to turn around. I just know she's a baddie. I just know that her lace is glued on. I can't explain it. That's good branding. Shout out to Yagi World. I don't know what it is, but Yagi World apparently is like the bad bitch attire. Either that or they're wearing Cortez. But Cortez is a bit younger. I feel like I'm too old for Cortez. No shade. I'm 28. I'm pushing 29 in December 2023, yeah. I'm not the target audience and I'm okay with that. I don't have to be a target audience for everything. But I do notice that when girls wear Cortez, there's like a little bad bitch flavor to their walk. And they're little Gen Zs. It's like the Gen Z baddies. But like, this is very like Leo themed conversation right now where it's like the Leo girls who are of my age group, there's like a London Leo girl energy where it's like, again, glued lace wig, acrylic nails, infill. You're never going to see them without an infill. White toenails. Bottega clutch. Even the dupe. There's always something about the way that they just like... They like to wear not even House of CB. I think House of CB is one of them, but those kind of brands that just like the clothing is very bad bitch clothing. Now those girls, their idea of a power couple is that get you your scammer boyfriend. Either a scammer boyfriend or a rapper boyfriend. Now, what I touched earlier on, I've taken money from a scammer before. This was recently when I told this story, maybe 2 podcast episodes ago, chronologically speaking, or maybe 1 ago. Anyway, I was in a club in London and it's a Nigerian venue. So there's loads of Nigerian men. Because as I get older, right, I prefer being in environments where they're going to be playing Afrobeats. And I like being in environments where Nigerian men are if I'm going out because they're the ones who are going to give me money. Like, I don't go to environments where white or light-skinned men are. They like light-skinned women or white women. Like, I know it's not because of how I look. It's just because they're colorist. Like, it's nothing to do with me, babe. Anyway, when I be going to these places, especially this Nigerian club I was at, some man kept on admiring me and then I was dancing in front of him. I wasn't dancing with him or on him. I was just dancing in front of him because he came to where I was. So I was kind of semi-ignoring him, semi-dancing. Then he touched my bum. So I pushed him and told him off. Then I moved myself away from him and was dancing near the security guard because I hated that he touched my bum. Then my friend was trying to diffuse the situation. So my friend was saying to him, she only accepts apologies in cash. And I was kind of overhearing the conversation, but I wasn't paying attention to it because whether he was going to give me cash or not, I just didn't even want to be in his space. And surprise, surprise, he handed a pile of cash to my friend to give me, and then me and my friend just made a whole joke of it, and she started like spraying the money on me note by note, and it was just hilarious, and he was just watching it happen, and I was ignoring him the whole time. And I'm sure that man was a scammer because he kept on saying to me that his watch is £80,000 and that he can take care of me if I wanted. But he was kind of gatekeeping the take care of me thing. So like he kept on bragging that his watch is £80,000 and he can take care of me. But then he was still acting a bit like gatekeeping, almost as though he's waiting for me to sleep with him before he does the taking care of thing, which I'm not doing that. I just met you. You're telling me you have an £80,000 watch and we just met. How do you know I'm not an armed robber? You're dying to tell every and any person you meet that your watch is 80,000. I wouldn't be surprised if that man was a Leo, you know, because that's really Leo behavior. Because Leos have the kind of insecurity where like they have to make up for it by bragging. You're telling me you have an £80,000 watch. You're probably a scammer. Good for you, Hush Puppy Junior. But Leo women, they love flashy men. Flashy in looks, flashy in their Louis Vuitton t-shirts. Like they love a man who like, you know those men who wear like the Alexander McQueen trainers? You know that Alexander McQueen like platform trainer that's been trending since like 2013 and people still wear it. You know the one I'm talking about. They love men who wear that Alexander McQueen trainer and then the Palm Angels t-shirt. Palm Angels t-shirt. And then he's got the Cuban links. So their man looks like a rapper or some sort of successful man. You know, they love all that. They love the shiny Mercedes E-Class. They love that. They love all of that. Go to the casino with your boo. They love all of that. I ain't mad. I ain't hating. No shade, man. You like what you like. Make sure he's looking after you financially. Make sure you're getting what you need out of it because it's hollow. It's only hollow when your man is flashy, but you ain't getting none of it. We don't do power couple just for image. Like power couple has to be that you're actually experiencing that power and you can replace him with somebody who has just as much, if not more than him. That's exuding true Leo energy because Leo is queen energy. Do you know Leo is the lion in astrology? That's why the Leo like associations are often images of lions. It's like king and queen energy. If you're stepping into your Leo energy correctly and wholefully, girl, you're unstoppable. Get you a rich dude who likes being seen out with you because Leo men love the flashy relationship thing too. Leo men love a power couple just as much as Leo women do. Do you know that? Problem with Leo men though is that Leo men justify their wandering eye. That's why as a Leo woman, you need to also justify your wandering eyelash. Yes. You also need to be having your eye out for what you want too. Because you're powerful and you're allowed to. You make the rules as you go along. Would I date a Leo man? Probably not. Probably not. The few Leo men that I know, let me think. Because you know what? A lot of Leo men go into roles in the world that are like musicians, actors. They're usually performers. You know, Leos oftentimes are not afraid of the light. So as a woman who's a fire sign, I can handle a Leo man, but I would only date a Leo man for entertainment purposes. Like I would have to enjoy him in small bursts because Leo men can be a bit, I don't know, man. They're a bit, like you have to have instilled enough fear in them for them to really, 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 really be devoted to you and all about you. If not, then you're going to be in competition with them. That's why as Leo women, you need to stop seeking men that you're going to be competing with and find you a man who just wants to be all about you and who is grateful to have you as his queen. As a Leo woman, you're supposed to be the star in the relationship. Embrace it. You're supposed to be the star. You're supposed to be the sun in the sky and he's the grass on the ground that grows because of your light. That is how it's supposed to be because Leo is actually astrologically ruled by the sun. Yes. So when you are ruled by the sun, remember the sun is not a planet, the sun is a star. Yeah. Yeah. So so you bring warmth to every room you go into. You bring light. You're supposed to be noticeable. You're supposed to be seen. You're supposed to stand out. Embrace it. You're supposed to be the pinnacle of desire in that relationship. Embrace it. Take ownership of it. Stand firm and tall in it. Don't be with a man who's going to chip away at your self-esteem. You will wilt like a flower that hasn't been watered. Don't let that happen to you. As a Leo woman, embrace it. Stand fucking strong in being the boss, because you are the boss and you are the lion queen. And why not? And speaking of being the boss and being the lion queen, I would like to remind you that my book, Pockets Power from the Slumflower, is coming out November 2nd in the UK and a week later in the US. And Pocket Power from the Slumflower, if you haven't already guessed by the name, is a pocket-sized book. I say pocket-sized, but it'll fit into a mini Telfar, just for scale. A mini-sized book full of quotes by me that will encourage you to stand taller and firmer in your power. Yes. I've always said this and I'll continue to say it because that's exactly why I wanted to make this book. But I often think of a scenario where a woman is on her way to a date. She's in the Uber or she's on the train or she's on the bus. Half an hour beforehand, she was feeling good. She was feeling excited. And then for some reason, a thought entered her mind while she's en route. A thought of, maybe I'm not good enough. What if he doesn't like me? What if he thinks my boobs are saggy? What if I panic and I end up going halves on the bill at the date because I'm scared to accept and he might think I'm a gold digger? What if? Well, after having those thoughts, she then reaches into her mini Telfar and she pulls out Pocket Power from the Slumflower and she opens it at a random page and she starts reading a quote or two that reminds her that she is in fact good enough. In fact, why don't I might give you an exclusive. I don't know if I should do this, but it's more alluring to do something that you don't know if you should be doing. But maybe I should read a quote from this book and give you a little preview. Do you want a preview? You're not in a position where you can answer yes or no. So you're going to have this preview against your will just because. So there's a quote here that says, "Honor yourself and leave when you've truly had enough. You can't stay and be complaining. That's like licking the plates clean and saying you didn't enjoy the food." You understand? So if you're in a situation with a guy, you've just met him, it might even be early days, you might be going on your second date with him, something just doesn't really feel entirely right, but you're still forcing yourself to stay because, oh, what about love? This could be the one. This could not be the one if you feel like this. It's not supposed to feel like this at the beginning if this could be the one. If this could be the one, it will be easy. My friend Hussein always says to me, if it's meant to be, it will be easy. So if it's meant to be, it will be easy. It won't feel like this. You won't be feeling this sense of having to patch and mend and stay for the sake of it and just stick it through and see it through. You've only just met this guy. There's no reason to see anything through. You're not his wife. So when you catch yourself feeling fleeting doubt, I want you to pick up Pockets Power from the Slumflower. Grab a quote that resonates with you and ruminate on it until it becomes your reality, because why not? So yes, Pocket Power from the Slumflower will be available in all good bookstores, including Foyles, Barnes and Nobles, Waterstones, and of course Amazon for those who like to buy their books online. In the UK, it will be out on November 2nd, and in the US and everywhere else, it'll be out a week later. Yay! That's Pocket Power from the Slumflower. And now let's move on to talking about Virgo. Virgo women, goodness me. You know what? As I've gotten older, I've learned to love and understand Virgo women. You guys be doing a lot. But I love you. I get it. You're doing your best. I have a Virgo placement. So before I start chatting my shit, yeah, I have a Virgo placement. I have my Mars in Virgo. So to contextualize that for you, first of all, Mars as a planet governs over the way we take action, how we act when we're defending ourselves, how we act when we want to do something to a level of excellence. How we put ourselves out there when we're asserting ourselves. So when you have your Mars in the sign of Virgo, well, first of all, obviously perfectionism will come into the conversation, because Virgo as a sign is obsessive perfectionism, often to their own detriment. Virgo as a sign, they want to do things to a level of excellence and seeing it through. The thing with Virgo as a sign, especially when in a situation where they're defending themselves or holding their own in their own corner, my goodness, don't let a Virgo cuss you out, you know. Don't let yourself get to a position where a Virgo is going to cuss you out, because they know how to locate information about you that will really hurt your feelings, and they will give you a verbose read. Like, you will be read you'll be read to cremation by a Virgo. Like, you will just rather cremate yourself on the spot if a Virgo reads you. Please don't put yourself in a position where a Virgo will cuss you out, because they just know how to spot details. They know how to spot your insecurities. They know how to spot the things that you're lying about. Virgos just be knowing. Be careful with a Virgo. Virgo women, I've learned to love you guys as I get older, because I've learned to appreciate your intention. I'm not going to lie. When I was a bit younger, I used to just think Virgos are just annoying. Like, I don't normally gravitate towards Virgo. But as I get older, I have an allocation, a quota for Virgo women in my life. And I love the Virgo women in my life. There's only a few, but they are fucking awesome people. Very, very caring. Very, like, they like to fix people. So Virgos, they need to learn to just, like, you know, if someone is struggling, you can offer them help. And of course you can be of aid and assistance, but just know when to, like, bow out gracefully. Because what can happen is you take it personally that you weren't able to save them, and it becomes this lifelong guilt that you carry that it was never yours to bear in the first place. I can't stand Virgo men. I prefer Virgo women to Virgo men. Oh my God, Virgo men. They're the kinds that will neg you. Do you know what negging is? Negging is when a man tries to chip away at your confidence but still compliments you. So it's like an inverted backhanded compliment. So, and when a man is negging you, he might be like, this color isn't really your color, but the dress looks nice on you anyway. You know, it's like shade, but a compliment. Or they'll try to, like, let's say you're a musician and you send them a song that you've made. They might be like, you still need to work on your singing. You need to work on this, and this. But, you know, the song has potential. Like, there's something about you're never good enough for them. Virgo men. They're weird. I don't like Virgo men. Oh my God, I could do a whole episode on Virgo. I do not like Virgo men. But the few Virgo men that I do have a soft spot for, I'm not going to lie, I have a Virgo friend, a Virgo guy friend. And he's been teaching me how to ride my bike. You know who you are. I appreciate you. Sometimes out of the blue, he'll just call me. Like, I'm really bad with my phone. So is he, though. Like, but he always thinks of me, and, like, he calls me and he's like, hey, when are we doing this bike ride? Like, are you okay? Let's hang out. Let's shoot. Like, he takes pictures as well. Let's shoot. Like, he would travel all the way from the opposite side of London to come and help me with my bike. And it is the sweetest thing ever. Like, it genuinely feels like such a great friendship to have. But that's not the case with most Virgo men, though. Goodness me. So Virgo women, you guys are very picky. I would know this because I have my Mars in Virgo. Now, while I said Mars rules over how you carry yourself in situations where you want to assert yourself, or how you do things, quite literally, Mars also rules over how you behave sexually. Like, it's like how you like to be fucked, what you value in male partners. Because your Venus sign is how you like to be loved, but the Mars sign is like what you actually like, what you value in male partners, like what you look out for. So as someone who has my Mars in Virgo, I do like a man who's clean. It's a shame that I have to say I like a man who's clean. Most men they're not clean. I can tell when a man is clean. There's something but there's little details that give it away, that you can tell that like he has a routine of cleanliness. Like, let me see them fingernails. Every time I hug you, you smell clean. Your shirt is ironed well. You're looking like you have been creaming your scalp. Your breath smells nice. Like, because Virgo as a sign, like, is very, like, they're the ones who are known as the germphobes. There is something about OCD and Virgo. I'm not saying every Virgo has OCD, but if I could associate OCD with an astrological sign, I'd associate it with Virgo. Like, Virgos are germphobe. Oh my God. Like, we hate germ. Oh my God. Anything that represents dirtiness, I don't like it. Virgo actually also represents the virgin in astrology. Obviously, not every Virgo person is a virgin. Duh. But I do notice that there are times often with Virgo people where they can go a long time without having sex, People who have Virgo placements, especially in Mars. Like, I have my Mars in Virgo. I can go a really long time without having sex with someone. And I don't feel empty or lacking or FOMO. I can even go a long time without having sex with myself. I don't feel like my uterus is going to fall out of me in a pile of dust. I don't feel like I am off kilter and what's the word? Like, disconnected from myself because I haven't had, like, I just don't prioritize sex. So it means I'm able to be very level-headed and nitpicky as I like. Because the nitpicky ain't stopping me. Like, I don't lose anything from being nitpicky with men. I feel like women have to be picky to a certain extent. Obviously, Virgo likes to take it quite far, but Virgos be overthinking. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Virgo, have a break. Have a Kit Kat. Rest. It's okay. No amount of thinking will change the situation. Especially if the situation is out of your control. Give your brain a break. Be kind to yourself. Because you lot are hard on yourselves. Virgo are hard on themselves. And that's not something that's going to change anytime soon, because astrologically speaking, Virgo is an earth sign, a mutable earth sign. So they refine things. They're like a bookkeeper, they are good with details. They're good with refinement. So they're good at polishing things. They like to see execution through to perfection. They like being needed. Virgo, you lot like being needed. Are you guys okay? Asking for myself too. Are we okay? Why do we like being needed so much? Because now as I get older, I don't want to be needed. Leave me alone. I don't want to be needed. Please, I'm tired. I want to sleep. Because being needed means you have to always be on, switched on, ready to provide help. 999. What's the emergency? I'm tired. Like, even thinking about relationships now with men as I get older, I don't want a man to need me. Like, I want him to want me, but I don't want him to need me. Because neediness, oh my goodness. I become really, really avoidant. I become really, really, really avoidant when I feel like someone needs me. Because the neediness is not coming from a place of, I value your skills and I need you to do X, Y, Z. Like, it's different. It's like the neediness is usually, especially in like a relationship context, the neediness is like, I have to make up for an insecurity that you have. No, I don't want to. I'm tired. I would be very mindful about lying to a Virgo woman because she can catch you in a lie. You're going to get caught, and she will have photocopies and all the saved information and receipts. So think twice about cheating on a Virgo woman, especially if you're married to her. And if there's money involved in that marriage, she will keep her receipts. Virgo women, do not lose that side of you. If you're planning to marry someone and he's got money, whatever you lot have arranged in your prenuptial agreement or however you've patterned the contracts, make sure you keep your receipts, girl. If you figure that he's cheating, slowly start gathering information. Slowly, so that once you're ready to file for divorce, you got your evidence. Get your money, girl. If you have signed an agreement that involves money, if he cheats, of course, you know. Now, Virgo women can be quite judgmental. They judge themselves and they judge other people, but not every Virgo is like that. However, a lot of them can be like that. Especially the self-judgment. You guys need to fucking relax. And I'm going to leave that there with Virgo. Libra women. Like I said with Leo, who go for looks, so do Libra women a lot of the time. So Libra is a cardinal air sign. Libra is a cardinal air sign. Sorry, I don't know why I choked there. Libra is a cardinal air sign. So, as a cardinal air sign, again, starting shit you don't always finish. Libras can ghost. They're flaky and flighty. I would know this because I'm a Libra rising. Yes. We are very invested in our appearance. Yes. We are very invested in being liked. Yes. We care about being agreeable and like, of course we do love a debate, but ultimately we want to be liked. That's okay if you want to be liked. It's about making sure that you're liked for the right reasons, though. You don't want your whole personality to be dependent on being likable, because then you're not being yourself and people can tell, and that's manipulative. I definitely like Libra women way more than I like Libra men. I'm not a fan of Libra men. Libra men be lying a lot. And are they dependable? Not really. Not really, because they're an air sign. Flighty. Will tell you what you want to hear, but will not always execute. No. Libras, both the men and the women, romantics. People love you. People can love. You lot love the whole like romanticizing things. You lot love the whole daydreaming about being in love. You lot love the aesthetics of love. I'm rolling my eyes only because, like, look, I used to be like that when I was younger. Now that I'm older, I'm not as fussed about the aesthetics of love and wanderlust, because it's really easy to make anything look more special than it is, especially on the internet. I grew up on Tumblr, okay? I grew up on the romanticized imagery of everything being made to seem more amazing than it was. I was a dreamer. I was a lover. I was a fantasist, if that's even a word. Someone who just fantasized. Oh no, I'm going to sneeze. Because I'm allergic to Libra men. I actually am allergic to Libra men. I will not date a Libra man. I don't like Libra men. Because they are very, very good looking. But they will confuse you. Libra men, I don't know, man. Sometimes they be starting shit they don't finish. Like, they want to like start a debate with you and then play devil's advocate. Ew. Can't make your mind up. Libra women, make your mind up. What do you want? What do you want? I don't know. What do you want? I don't know. That scene in The Notebook. Libra women, make your mind up. Make your mind up so that you will always be able to still have room for it being indecisive, but like over things that aren't too defining over your life. Let me make that explanation a bit clearer. When I say make your mind up, yeah, especially in the conversation of dating as a Libra woman, decide what you want for your life and how a man can fit into that. Not just fit into your life, but facilitate the life and lifestyle you want. Decide on that. Be sure of what you want your life to look like, so that when you are in a position of picking a partner, a potential boo, you may be indecisive between guy A or guy B, but at least guy A and guy B have very, very similar traits. And those traits are along the lines of them both being able to facilitate the life you want. So the things that you're having indecisiveness over is more just picking who you like more. But the reality is, whether you pick guy A or guy B, you're still going to end up where you need to be because you've picked the right guy. That's different to being indecisive over Like, guy A and guy B being two very, very, very different guys. One is broken homeless and he wants to move into your house, but he's very poetic and he has good jokes. And then the other one, he's kind of got money, but he's a bit stingy, and but you have good debates with him. It's like neither of these two are an option, babe. You're indecisive over the wrong thing. So find somewhere in your life to be decisive so that you can make room for the more indecisive side of you that's always going to rear its head at some point. I would know this as a Libra rising. I understand. Trust me, girl. And I do think, low-key, Libra women do like a man who's going to lead. And if you've listened to a previous podcast episode of mine, you know how I feel about women being like, I want a man who's going to lead me. Lead you where, girl? Get City Mapper. Download City Mapper app. Not an ad. That was not an ad, but seriously though, like, what do you mean you want a man to lead you? Oh, I do get it though. Like, you want a man who you don't have to think too much when you're with him. Great, but that's not really leading, is it? That's just him. He knows what the jig is. He knows what the plan is, and you can just chill out because you feel secure around him. But like, you still know where you want your life to go. He can't lead you to where you want to go. You have to decide where you want to go, girl. And he has to just guide you along. Be a protector on that journey. Financially protecting. And maybe physically protecting if men try to jump you or hurt you. But like, you need to know where you're going, girl. Know where you're going so that the man who is on a similar journey to you, you can both just like tag along in each other's journey. But Libra women do be liking a man who's going to lead them. I think it's to do with that whole romanticized outlook on dating and relationships. And also I think it's to do with the indecisive thing. Because when you find it hard to make a decision, you want someone else to make decisions for you, right? This goes back to what I was saying about learning how to make certain key decisions of your own, so that even if you're going to be indecisive about other things, like, that person can make up for the indecisive parts that you are struggling with without them having too much governance over your life. That matters a lot for Libra. I do also think Libras can be diplomatic, which is a nice trait to have. Like, you guys are I know a lot of Libras are introverted and not necessarily outgoing, but you guys are actually very good at getting people on your side. That's something I use to my strength. Like, if I wanted to be a diplomat, I'll be a good diplomat. Like, I know how to get people on my side without making it obvious. Like, I'm such a likable person. And it's interesting because the perception people have of me on the internet versus the perception they have of me in real life is always in contrast to the other. So I very often get, oh, I thought you were going to be a bitch. Oh my gosh, you're actually so sweet and funny. Oh my God, people are so hard on you on the internet. I get that a lot. I don't take it offensively anymore. I used to be annoyed when people would be like, oh, I thought you were going to be a bitch. Of course you'd think I was going to be a bitch because I say things how I think it is according to the way the world looks in regards to men and the space they occupy violently. Of course you're going to think I'm a bitch because I'm not afraid to hold my own space, and anybody who is a woman who is not afraid to hold space of her own is called a bitch. Of course you're going to think I'm a bitch because I'm sexy and I know it. And you thinking I'm a bitch doesn't mean I'm one. That's just reflective of how you make your own observations about people and things. And it's nice to surprise people. I know there's some people who are secretly feeling guilty that they used to hate on me on the internet and now they really want to be my friend so bad. Good. Think I forgot? Bitch, I didn't forget. You know, occasionally I get people tweet me being like, Slumflower was right. Slumflower was ahead of her time. I was on the wrong side of history. I used to boo Slumflower on the internet, but now she's right. It's like, well, you stay on that side of booing, yeah? Don't come and try and be my friend because I remember your face. That's one thing about me. I'm still a fire sign. Okay? And I still have air sign placements. Moon in air, rising in air. Moon is Gemini, rising is Libra. And I've got a Mars in Virgo. Whilst Virgo is not an air sign, it is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is a very air sign type of planet because Mercury rules over Gemini, and Mercury is a planet of communication. So with all of that in mind, Virgo, don't be forgetting shit. Virgos do not be forgetting shit. Neither will Gemini. If Gemini wants to keep hold of certain information, they fucking will. Because that's an air sign thing. Whilst Libra is not ruled by Mercury, it's still an air sign. It's ruled by Venus. But with all those air sign placements in place, baby, I did not forget any of you. So don't come and try and beg friend with me now that I got this podcast and you lot are all struggling with men because you was busy booing me when I was saying this from 2017. The same things I've been saying now, I was saying it back in 2017, but what I'm saying now is a lot more refined. But what I was saying in 2017, when I was saying it, people were saying that I hate men, that I hate black men, that I'm a misandrist, which, by the way, misandry is in no way equal to misogyny. Misandry would only exist if misogyny existed. Misandry is a response to misogyny, and I think people deserve to be misandrist if they are choosing to be misandrist. Anyway, that's besides the point. Tap, 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 tap. Calling me misandrist, claiming that I hate men, saying I hate black men, any kind of reductive statement they can make to try and discredit my points because they were jealous. And it turns out now that some of these people are slowly coming back with no apology and no acknowledgement that they were haters on the internet, but they now come, oh my God, I love your podcast. Oh my God, you're so amazing. And some of them, I don't bring it up to them. Some of them I do. If I'm feeling really shady and mean that day, you'll get the mean girl side of me. Because yes, I don't want anybody to see me as some sort of like Mother Earth, all loving, all-encompassing big sister of the internet. No, if you try me, I'll cuss you out in the DMs and you can go and block me if you want to, bitch. Because you was talking shit. And you think I didn't forget? Now you've come to beg it with me. No, go there, back to where you was. Go and stay struggling with the men who you're struggling with because you don't know how to uphold self-esteem. And when I was saying it, because you was jealous and because it was more popular at the time, to try and be mean to me, you jumped on that bandwagon. Stay on that bandwagon with his falling off wheels. Stay there. Don't come here. Because there are people who, regardless of what was going on over there, they were still riding out. They understood the vision. They were down with the mission. And those are people that I fucks with. I'm not here to try and amass this like crazy fan base and have all the numbers surrounding me. I don't care for that because the reality is it's not going to be physically possible for every single woman to think the same way. It's not going to be possible for every single woman to have the same outlook on men. There are some women who need to date broke men. There are some women who need to be pick-me's. There are some women who need to make excuses for men. We need those women because who's going to date the broke men? Not me, but who's going to date the broke men? Someone has to do it. Not me though, but someone has to do it. Exactly. So you lot go do that over there, but don't come over here trying to beg it with me and pretend you was always down with it when you used to pick on me online and go as far as bullying me. So that's the fire sign side of me coming out, as you can see. We will touch on Sagittarius later in this conversation because I'm Sagittarius sun. But where I was going with this is talking about being a Libra and being a likable person and people actually falling in love with you in person and then realizing, oh shit, she's actually a really nice person. That's Libra for you. I love me being a Libra with my Libra rising anyway. I love being a Libra because Libra is the scales, right? Like the astrological sort of symbol is the scales. So Libra is always weighing things up. Like I'm prone to changing my mind. I have a Gemini moon and a Libra rising. Okay. I will change my mind. And I make room for that. I don't want to imprison myself in one ideology. There are obviously things I'm not going to change my mind on. Am I going to change my mind on believing that men are dangerous? No. Am I going to change my mind on believing that you can have a fulfilling and stable and nurturing and financially protective love of a broke man? No, because you can't. Am I going to change my mind on, valuing looks? Maybe I might change my mind. But that doesn't mean I won't value money from a man because men are supposed to provide. If you don't like that, then get rid of patriarchy because what men like to do is hold on to the parts of patriarchy that are convenient for them and then try and throw away the parts that are not convenient. No, if you're going to uphold a system that disempowers me, you're going to have to pay a tax for that if you're dating me, meaning the price you pay for upholding patriarchy is paying these bills. If you don't like it, abolish patriarchy and give women your money. Either way, all roads lead to give women your money. You don't like it? Good. I don't like it either, but here we are. Only one of us is doing something about it though, and that's the woman deciding to demand more. Men are doing nothing about it. Instead, they will try and haggle you down. When you have expectations of a man in a patriarchal world, instead of these men to go and get another job and work harder to make more money for you to take, they'll be like, well, why can't you just have less needs? No! Go away. You have nothing for me with your empty bucket. Move! Let's move on to Scorpio. Oh my goodness. I think Scorpio is my favorite sign to talk about in astrology because you guys are always getting dragged, and good for you. And I have a Scorpio placement. I have my Venus in Scorpio. So best believe it, I know what I'm talking about with this drag, yeah? Scorpio is a fixed water sign. Scorpio is the equivalent of the saying, still waters run deep. Scorpio is pretty much still waters. Deep, dark water. Scorpio is like, you know where the, you know that fish that has the light bulb attached to its head and it's got really sharp teeth? Is it called a piranha? It's not a piranha, is it? But those fish that live so deep down in the, close to the bottom of the ocean, but not quite the bottom, because we've never actually gotten to the bottom of the ocean, you know, but those fish that live really far deep down where there's barely any light, that's Scorpionic territory. Scorpio, goodness me, you guys are fucking horny. That's not a drag, just an observation. Scorpio is a very sexual sign. It is ruled by the planet Mars and it is ruled by the planet Pluto. Yes. Mars is quite known as an aggressive sign. It can be very sexually aggressive. Sexually aggressive isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just means that there is some outward sexual energy that is emanated from the sign that it rules, which is Scorpio. Just like how I said Aries are very horny people, just like Scorpio, because Aries and Scorpio are both ruled by Mars. The only difference with Aries and Scorpio is not just ruled by Mars, but it's also ruled by Pluto. Pluto as a sign governs over, oh my God. Pluto as a sign governs over things that cannot always be seen. It's like a deeply dark sort of like, it rules over possession, debts, taxes, death, sharp things, needles, tattoos. Scorpio is a really fascinating sign. Now, as someone with my Venus in Scorpio, it's no surprise that I'm pretty much covered in tattoos. Am I a horny person? Not really. Not as much as I used to be. Like, as I get older, I'm kind of like, You know, I think I participate in my sexuality in different ways as I get older. You know, sometimes I might like go to a kink event, but the most I'll do is like step on a the most I'll do is put my foot on a guy's back while sitting down resting. Like, I'm not really like, I've been to a sex party before, but I feel like I'm so awkward at sex party. Like, I'll just stand there and be like, does anybody need anything? Anybody need a snack? What color is like, I'm just so awkward. Like, I'm not interested in any of that activity at the moment in my life. Like, I'm just not that kind of person. The Scorpio women, you guys are really possessive. It's cute, but like, be possessive over the right man, please. Don't be possessive over that man who's doing nothing for you, because don't nobody want your liability anyway, girl. You can have him. Like, please take him off my hands. We don't want him. Goodness me. Scorpio women can be clingy. It's not a bad thing. You know, they can be controlling. Pluto as a planet rules over control. There are themes of power tussles with Scorpio people. Scorpio women are prone to trauma bonding with men. Goodness me. The amount of times a Scorpio woman has been like guilt-ridden to leave a man because, you know, his childhood was hard. He's having a hard time. I can't just leave him. He's having a hard... Well, girl, it's looking like he's going to be having a hard time for the foreseeable, girl. Like, he looks like he's having a hard life, girl. If you're going off of the argument and belief that he's having a hard time and that's the reason you're going to stay, you may be bound to this man for the rest of your life purely because you are worried that he's going to have a hard time without you being there to mother him and micromanage him out of his problems. I think Scorpio women can develop fixations on the wrong guy as well. Like, sometimes people develop fixations when they feel rejected, right? And this is why, as I'm getting older, I'm learning how to find diplomatic but direct ways to reject men. There was a man I recently rejected, right? And he did this thing where I feel like he was doing that Scorpio trauma bondy oversharing thing. And I started to pick up on it and I was like, you know what? I'm going to avoid this guy because this doesn't feel right. So me and him have known of each other for some years. We're not in the same network, so there's not been any reason for us to be friends per se. He's a creative person, so am I. We recently bumped into each other at an event. Nice, woohoo! That's good. I wasn't expecting him to say hello to me. I thought he wasn't gonna want to talk to me because I mentally associated him with that group of boys on the internet who hate outspoken feminists. Like, those kind of men. Like, she's an angry feminist. Like, I associated him mentally with that because back when I used to see him online, and he was a bit younger, even though we're the same age, but when he was a bit younger, I got that vibe from him. So I just never took to him or his crowd. Anyway, it turns out people can change. He was very evolved in how he described his fondness for the work I'm doing. He understood the vision. He acknowledged that he has changed. So it was a nice conversation, but he started oversharing, He was telling me things about his mental health, which, like, I want to really be intentional and very explicit in saying that a man having problems with his mental health or difficulties with his mental health is not necessarily a reason to be like, well, I'm not going to be around this person because, like, people are struggling. And I think if that information is shared in the right context and timing, there's nothing wrong with sharing that information. It's just that, like, if I've just met you for the first time properly in person and you shared something about your mental health to me, maybe you felt comfortable because I've given that energy, fine, but I am going to consider that when deciding how I'm going to respond to your behavior in future, because this guy shared a particular mental health issue that, based on my awareness and experience with interacting with men with this type of mental health issue, they can, not all of them, but they can develop fixations on you if you reject them in a particular way. So after he shared about his mental health, we still had other dynamic and useful, fulfilling conversations outside of that particular topic. But I did notice that his energy felt a bit, not coercive, but I just felt a bit like he wanted to hang out with me for longer. At this point, we're leaving the venue. It's like 10:30 at night. He wanted to hang out with me for longer. So we briefly went to one of the Soho houses that was nearby, but we both wanted to just go home. Like, we both live in we don't live far from each other, so we can get the same sort of train route home and then disperse at a particular point. So we were both like, let's just get a train home. We only stayed at that Soho house for maybe 15 minutes. Both headed to the station, managed to get the last train. And I feel like on the walk to the train station, he kept on asking me to come to his studio and hang out with him. And I was just like, it didn't feel right because I've just met you and you're inviting me to your personal space. You just be inviting people to your space like that? No, that's somehow... Or even the idea of I feel like he wanted to do stuff and I'm not doing that. Okay? I'm not doing that. And then obviously combined with what he shared with me about his mental health, I kind of felt like I had to find diplomatic ways to just kind of be like, no, I'm not doing that. It's okay. Maybe next time. Next time, let's have a proper plan. We'll hang out properly. But it just felt like he just wanted to extend the time he's hanging out with me. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want you to have a fixation on me. I just don't want this. Because I feel like when men develop certain fixations on you, if you reject them at a particular point where they start to feel more attached to you, the rejection can just go to a different place. And I'm just not in the mood for any of this. So then maybe a week later, he asked me out on a walk. And I was like, ugh. I was rolling my eyes at that text. But I didn't want to be rude because I just knew that this is the kind of guy who's going to develop a fixation. I keep saying fixation because it's such a Scorpio thing. I don't even think he never told me he's a Scorpio. He's a fire sign. But he's not a Scorpio. But he probably, from how he was acting, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a Scorpio rising. I attract a lot of Scorpio rising men. Oh my goodness. I would not, he was giving me Scorpio rising energy, yeah? So when he was asking me out on the walk, now, you know me, you know how I am. I got a big sassy mouth on me. If a man asks me out on a walk, a fucking walk, I'll either ignore him or just say something really rude and just keep it moving. But he has his red receipts on iMessage, which I was like, oh God, here we go. I didn't want to just leave him on red because you know what, like, we're in a similar creative circle. I'm likely to bump into him again. I'm okay with being his friend. Like, I actually just want to be his friend. I want to give this guy a chance to be friends with me. I don't have any sexual interest in him, but I think he'll make a cool friend. Like, he thinks about things creatively in a way similar to me. So he'll be a nice person to just bounce abstract ideas off of. That's all I want. But I don't want to walk outside. I'm not doing that. Yeah? So when he was like, do you want to go for a walk and have a tea? I was like, I'm not interested in leaving my house to walk outside at night. But if in future you got better suggestions, you're welcome to let me know and I'll let you know if I like it. And then I put a colon on a bracket, like a little smiley symbol, but not the actual emoji, just a little smiley. And then what did he say? I think he said, all good, have a blessed evening. And then I just didn't hear from him again. It's like, well, look, he probably felt rejected by that. But I'm not I'm not gonna, because I feel kind of sorry for you or because I'm a bit cautious of how you might feel, I'm not gonna accept something I don't want to accept. Even the friendship I would have wanted from him or with him, I'm not interested in that friendship if we have to be walking outside. Girl, it is autumn. It's crunchy leaf season. It's wear a jacket outside after 8 p.m. season. Girl, I'm not going to leave my house to go outside and walk and then drink lime-scaled coffee from a kettle that you probably haven't cleaned into. I'm just not interested. Okay? He probably has a Scorpio placement, right? If I was more mean to him, a negative fixation probably would have formed, and I'm not interested in men having obsessions over me. Like, when I was younger, I used to love that shit because I have a Scorpio Venus, right? So Scorpio women, we do enjoy the feeling of a man being obsessed with us. Let's just be real here. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. This is a safe space if you're a woman. If you're a man, get out here. Anyway, Scorpio women, we enjoy the feeling of a man obsessing over us. Like, it makes us feel really wanted and desired and different. But as you get older, you learn that if the wrong man is obsessed with you, you're in danger, okay? And this goes back to what I was saying about being really careful about the information you share about yourself. Don't be so quick to share where you live, even if you're saying the area you live in. If a guy, let's say you live in Peckham, which is in Southeast London, a guy asks you what areas you live in, because he's from Southeast London too. And there are quite a few areas in Southeast London. You got East Dulwich, you got Tulse Hill, you got Peckham, you got Elephant and Castle. You know, you've got areas surrounding Peckham. So you can lie and just say you're from Nunhead because Nunhead is right next to Peckham. Or you can lie and say you're from Honor Oak because Honor Oak is also next to Peckham. It's still Southeast London. You can just be like, oh, I'm like in the Honor Oak area, I'm in the Nunhead area. If for whatever reason in future you guys get close enough and it turns out you live in Peckham, you can just make a joke and be like, but it's not the same thing. Like, I prefer to claim, make a joke and be like, oh, I prefer to claim Nunhead because Peckham is ratchet. You know, make a joke, but please be careful about sharing information about it. I know you guys want to overshare because you're in a hurry to find love. That don't make you find love. It makes you find danger, girl. If you're with the wrong guy and you're sharing the wrong information. And Scorpio, surprisingly, it'd be Scorpio as well oversharing. You would think that Scorpio women are mysterious. That's the ones who are a bit more evolved and who know themselves better. Scorpio women oftentimes do be oversharing because they kind of just want to pull their potential lover into their world. So Scorpio women will be oversharing about their trauma because they want to trauma bond with you and pull you into their world. Scorpio women will be oversharing micro nuanced details about themselves because it gives them the illusion that they're getting closer and closer to you because they want to fast track that connection. Slow down. Be careful. Relax. If it's meant to be, it'll be easy. Remember that. If it's meant to be, it'll be easy. Scorpio women also have a tendency to be stalking her ex-man's new girlfriend. Ask me how I know. I know because I used to be that person. When I was younger, I did this when I was like, there was a guy I dated and I was like 21, 22. This is my baby Slumflower days. I don't even think I was I even called Slumflower at that point? I don't even know. Anyway, yeah, I was actually called Slumflower. 21, 22, I dated this guy. And wow, this episode is long, guys. You're going to really enjoy it. Anyway, 21, 22, I dated this guy. And I kid you not, for a solid like year after things ended with him, I was still like just occasionally when it would come into my mind, and because I'm still not over it. Like back then I was like, I'm still not over it. Occasionally he would enter my mind and I would like search his handle on, what was it, Twitter or Instagram, whatever it was, I'd search him on, and then I'll just look at his page to just see like what is he enjoying? Has he got he's got a girlfriend. Let me see her. So you like white girls? Your new girlfriend is what? What about all of this? Like I was doing that for a solid year. It's the Scorpio in me. Now I don't even have that girl. Now I don't have that kind of time. Listen, if something doesn't work with a man, I already have developed enough ick from you making me feel such a way that I don't want to see anything about you. I don't want to hear your music. I don't want to see your work. I don't want to see anything that you're making. I don't want to see anything you're thinking. Blocked, muted on everything. It's for the best. It's for the better good. It's for the better for our community and for the world, for me to not know what you're doing. But yeah, man, Scorpios, you don't be taking things personally. Scorpio women are prone to doing up emotional blackmail. Girly, relax. Relax, girl. Chill out. What's with the emotional blackmail? It's like once you've gathered all the information and you've trauma bonded with your man, the emotional blackmail is a really murky territory, because it's like, you guys know what I'm talking about though. If you're a Scorpio, you know what I'm talking about. Don't even try and deny it. I do think on the flip side though, Scorpios will make really good dominatrixes. Yes, you would. And I am in no place of wanting to promote or push the just become a dominatrix thing, because it takes a lot more work than just being mean to men. It's a lot of layers to this. But I do think that Scorpio women have a level of sadism in them that makes them prime for this type of lifestyle. But let's move on to Sagittarius. I'm a Sagittarius sun. Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign. Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter, the biggest planet in our solar system. Remember, the sun is not a planet, it is a star, so the sun does not count. But Jupiter is the biggest planet in our solar system. And as a planet that rules over Sagittarius, Sagittarians are incredibly lucky people. Abundance follows us. When you are ruled by the biggest planet in the solar system, you can be gluttonous, you can be greedy. You can be over consuming of things that you enjoy. You can be a bit of a hedonist sometimes. But aside from that, Sagittarius are also very philosophical, scholarly. We're like a hot nerd type of dynamic going on. Sagittarius women are incredibly intelligent, funny. We are funny, okay? Sometimes we be masking our pain with humor. We've got to learn to stop doing that. I think Sagittarius women, you got to be careful though, because they will tell you about yourself. You should not invite me onto Nick Cannon's Your Mama, because boy, you're gonna have a mental breakdown on air. I will tell you things in such a succinct, verbose manner that you will hate yourself from that day on forever. You will regret even entering that conversation with me. But I don't like to use that side of myself very often. I don't like that side of myself until I need to use it. I don't like having to be able to know how to read someone for filth. I don't like to use my powers for evil. Oh my God, Sagittarius. Goodness me. Now, Sagittarius women. Let me tell you what catches us slipping when we're engaging with men. We actually get caught slipping by men who spend money, you know. We're the ones that are victims of love bombing. Like, we're the ones who, oh my God, he's so lovely. Like, oh my God, he bought me a gift and then he keeps on telling me he loves me. He's like, oh my God, everything happening at once. You need to relax. Slow down. Enjoy it as it's coming in. But don't get too carried away in the love bombing if you are being love bombed. That person is just trying to fast track their connection with you for a reason. There's something they want from you. I'm so sorry to break it to you. The fun thing about being a Sagittarius woman, though, is that we are very spontaneous. We do love a cheeky travel, if our pockets will allow for the cheekiness. That's why I like to date people who enjoy traveling and who want to facilitate that experience. I love traveling. Oh my goodness. I love that. Like, I feel like when my suitcase is packed, I'm in the airport, nothing matters. Money doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm supposed to be saving money, but I'm in the airport, so time and money nothing feels real. I'm in an airport. I'm in a space between nothing and somewhere. What even is that? I think another thing with being Sagittarius is we're escapists, girl. Like, we be really escaping, oftentimes through travel. I do think Sagittarius as well, as women, we need to not fall in love through our ears. We need to fall in love through what is done for us. It's easy to get distracted by what he's saying. What's he doing though? Focus on what he's doing. Not too much on what he's saying. Yeah, what he's saying is providing context, but what's he doing? What's he doing about how much he loves you? We would like to see it. Another thing with Sagittarius, well, we often be having big booties. I know that's so random, but Sagittarius as a sign rules over the thighs and the buttocks. Did you know that? So each astrological sign has rulership over particular body parts. So Aries rules over the head. Taurus rules the neck. Gemini rules like the arms and the fingers. Cancer rules the boobs. Virgo rules the stomach, which is why Virgos be having stomach issues a lot of the time. You don't need to watch your tummies. Libra rules over... What was Libra rule over? Because Scorpio rules over the sexual organs. So Libra rules over what? I need to think about what Libra rules over, because it's a seventh sign, but I can't remember what Libra rules over. But I know that Scorpio rules over the sexual organs. Sagittarius rules the thighs and the buttocks. Capricorn rules over the skeletal system. Aquarius rules the nervous system. Pisces rules the feet. Fun fact, fun fact. Yeah, fun fact, fun fact. I do need to now figure out what Libra rules. That's going to be on my mind forever now. Damn it. It's really annoying. Let's move on to Capricorn. Capricorn women, you guys remind me of Edna Mode from The Incredibles. Remember Edna Mode? Have you watched The Incredibles? I don't know why, but that reminds me of Capricorn. Like, there's this like stoic and stern energy to Capricorn women. I kind of like it though. Capricorn women often have really nice teeth. Because remember, Capricorn rules over the bones, and your teeth are technically exposed bone. So, definitely, nice teeth. Capricorn, love that for you guys. Capricorn women are so hardworking. You lot deserve a man who's going to take care of you. Because Capricorn women, they love success. They love anything that represents success. They love themselves a successful man. He doesn't have to be flashy looking, but they do like a successful man. You know this. I know this. Admit it. You love a man who's just like, he has status in the world for his success. Because I say this without even being funny. Capricorn actually is the governor of the 10th house in astrology, right? And the 10th house is your house of public image. Public image. How you are seen in the world. Your status. Your clout, if you will. Capricorns care about that. That's why they're so hard on themselves, because they do want to achieve and succeed. They know how to survive really hard things, Capricorn. Oftentimes, Capricorn as a child was made to be an adult way sooner than they should have been. They had this mature energy to them. Capricorn women have this very like girl boss, sort of like suited and booted energy to you guys. Like, you guys are genuinely really, really sick at just like achieving things you set your mind to. I wish I had more Capricorn energy in my chart. I would be a lot more successful. Very strong. You deserve to relax in a relationship. You don't have to be... I know you want to wear the trousers. Wear the trousers, girl. Wear the yoga pants, wear the trousers, wear the leggings, wear the skinny jeans. But you still deserve a man who's going to make you feel taken care of while you wear your trousers and do your thing. Because Capricorn women are the ones who are prone to being the breadwinner in the relationship and paying men's bills and seeing empowerment and feminism through the lens of taking in stray men and making their lives easier for those men. Capricorn, I'm talking to you. Are you listening? Be careful, because men will target that desire that you have to be a provider, be a breadwinner. Like, I think about Capricorn women as like, you know, when you're in the supermarket and you see a man like hugging a woman from behind at the till as she makes the payment, it's because she's the one that's paying for everything. He's like, thank you, baby. Ew. God forbid about thank you, baby. No. I don't like that. But it's usually a Capricorn woman who's in that position. Capricorn woman, you don't have to be superwoman for that man, you know. You can be superwoman for yourself and your kids, but that man, he needs to fucking play his part and make a difference. Or else you're just going to be a tired breadwinner who's patching and mending and just making it work, but deep down you're secretly resentful. That does not have to be your story, you know. Find you a man who, like, even if you're going to be like, because sometimes things can change. You might be in a household with your man where for a while you both be chipping in. Don't let him get too comfortable with that though. Don't let that become the norm for the rest of your relationship. Because one thing about Capricorn woman, she's always going to have her own. She's always going to be able to survive on her own. But still, I just feel like she deserves to rest and put her feet up and be adored because she's fucking amazing. She deserves to rest. Please rest, my sis. You deserve it, yeah? Let's move on to the next sign. The second to last sign. Wow, guys. I think this is probably the first ever 2-hour, the Slumflower Hour podcast episode we've ever had. Goodness me. Aquarius. We're getting to the end, though. We've got Aquarius and we've got Pisces left. Aquarius. Aquarius. What do I say? Where do I start with you lot? First of all, unpredictable as hell. Aquarius is a fixed air sign ruled by Uranus. They say Aquarius. You know what? There's this ongoing debate on whether Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. I do believe Aquarius is ruled by Uranus because Aquarius is also ruled by Saturn. Just like how Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and Saturn. Uranus is what brings the unpredictable energy to Aquarius. Whereas Saturn is what brings that sort of like hard-headedness. This sort of like older energy. Because Capricorn, which is also ruled by Saturn, even though we just finished talking about Capricorn, but to bring context here, Capricorn be having big daddy energy, whether it's a woman or a man. Just some big daddy energy going on because Saturn is a big daddy planet. Saturn represents the father in astrology oftentimes. We look at the sun and Saturn as the father in astrology, but I prefer to look at Saturn as the father. So when you're co-ruled by Saturn and Uranus, there's this energy to you that's very like unfuckwithable. Yeah, you guys can be social as Aquariuses, but there's also really introverted Aquariuses. Like I feel like with Aquarius, you're going to get either one or the other. They're either going to be sociable and you just don't know what they're about to say and you're almost like cringing in advance of what the fuck are they going to say. Or they're really introverted and only the people who they feel deserve to know them will really see this like dynamic side to them. And this is as well that a lot of people who are on the spectrum, like Aquarius tends to fall into that. Aquarius really do be given neurodivergent. That's not even shade. Like it's just a neutral trait. I do think Aquarius has a kinky side to them. Like a lot of men who I've come across who have some very peculiar kinks, they tend to be Aquariuses. And I love that for them. Like it's so nice to be able to just explore who you are. And Aquarius women, same thing. A lot of doms I've met are Aquariuses. Like female doms, Aquariuses. It's something to do with just embracing their quirks. Like, I do think sometimes it's considered in our society quirky to be a femdom. It's considered quirky because, like, people just don't understand it. Aquariuses tend to be people who, you know, you walk past them, they've got a fucking mohawk and a rainbow coat on. Like, they're okay with standing out. That's one thing I love about Aquarius. I do wish I had more Aquarius placements, but I'd be too powerful. God needs to just allocate me what was allocated to me, because I'll be too powerful if I had Aquarius placements. But I do like me an Aquarius in moderation, because one thing about Aquarius, yeah, it's really hard to change their mind. Not that I need to change Aquarius's mind, but, you know, that's just something about Aquarius. They're not really keen on changing their mind. But Aquarius women, I feel like Aquarius women remind me of the meme of, like, a duck and a zebra in love. Like, go find you your person who you can be weird with. That's Aquarius. Aquarius women just need someone they can be weird with. Because Aquarius women are weirdos in all the best ways. Find you someone you can be weird with who's still going to take care of you. Find you someone who's going to be weird with. Find you someone who you can talk about all your quirky special interests with, and they'll never get bored of you. Find you that. I promise you it's out there. I promise you. I have seen the most flamboyant, ambiguous, fascinating couples when I've gone out to places. And each time I'm like, one of them has to be an Aquarius, if not both. Like, this is giving me peak Aquarius energy. Embrace that. You don't need to change. You don't need to stop being quirky. Be as quirky as you want to be. If you've got 5 piercings in your face, leave your piercings in. You can still find someone who's going to want to take care of you. You don't have to change to get what you deserve, because you deserve love. And there is somebody out there who will be stopped in their tracks by how uniquely you that you are. Just have your boundaries. That's all you need to have. Have your boundaries. Have your non-negotiables. Be as weird and wacky as you want to be, because this is your only life, Aquarius. You fucking deserve it. Period. With your face tattoo and your nipple tattoos. Let's move on to the last and final sign. If you've listened up until this stage, first of all, thank you. This feels like I've sent, you know when you send your friend a 20-minute voice note? Because I have a friend who we literally send each other 20-minute voice notes because we are tapped. We are crazy. But this feels like an equivalent of sending your friend a 20-minute voice note, except it's a 2-hour voice note. It's 2 hours plus, if I'm really reaching. But anyway, Pisces. Oh, you guys are delusional. You guys are do you know Pisces? Yeah. Nah, let me fucking finish. Let me eat. Yeah. Pisces are the ones who are in my comment section being like, "What about love? What about true romance? What about it? What about it? Tell me." Because every time someone's like, "What about love? What about true love?" The love that they're accepting, I wouldn't even call that love. I call that suffering and shoehorning it into a definition of love. Leave me alone, Pisces. If you're a Pisces, chances are my content is not for you. Unless you have other placements that balance out this overt Pisces energy, because it really be Pisces getting on my nerves. Like, when I discover that someone's a Pisces, I don't even bother engaging in conversation with them about my outlook on dating, because I just know that, what about love? What about love? What about it? Do you think, Pisces, that you're the only person capable of feeling, nah, let me pop off because I've had enough, Pisces? Do you not think you're the only ones capable of knowing real love? Because you lot have issues with boundaries. You lot are disillusioned. You lot keep them rose-colored glasses on. You wear your rose-colored glasses to bed, guys. I will be dragging you because I've had enough, Pisces. You lot be harassing me. What about love? What about it? My definition of love is probably never going to be your definition of love, Pisces. Unless you're the kind of Pisces who has clocked onto the game and has learned how to observe and embrace duality. There are only a few Pisces women I've come across in this lifetime so far who actually get it, like who understand in this life, there is a duality to things, and you can be both. You can be both romantic and not about love, but you can also have your head screwed on. Because funny enough, yeah, Pisces, as a mutable water sign, the symbol of Pisces is the two fish swimming in opposite directions. So I do believe Pisces women have the capacity to actually see both worlds at once. Meaning, Pisces women can be dreamy and, oh my God, obsessed with love all they want to. But I also think that if Pisces women want to, they can also have an approach to consuming love as a topic or as a feeling or as a state of being in a way where they still put their needs first. Because Pisces people, like, they're known as like healers. Like they very much will pour everything. They will pour from an empty cup if they have to, because they just really, really want to devote themselves to people. They're very spiritual. Like, I deeply respect Pisces' ability to step into the spiritual realm. But you lot got to chill, innit? Like, you don't need to just leave some of us alone, innit? Like, some of us do not want to be carrying our crystals around and our herbs around to go and fix men who are ungrateful. Some of us don't want to do that, yeah? Some of us enjoy spending men's money as a form of spiritual reparations, yeah? Some of us don't care about being a man's mummy, yeah? Some of us don't care about seeing a man as our soulmate twin flame, yeah? Some of us care about having a good time and enjoying being the center of attention in that man's life while it lasts. Some of us are not pressed about, what about love? I'm tired of it. Pisces. Get a grip, please. Because Pisces women, out of everybody, Pisces women, I actually think they deserve the most to be taken care of, because they are just, I feel like they're just lost. Of course, this isn't every Pisces, guys. But I just think that there's a reputation for Pisces women to just be lost. Like, they be placing their love in the wrong hands. That's what I'm noticing. If a Pisces woman loves you, oh my goodness, you're not leaving that relationship the same man you started in. No way. No way. Like, Pisces women are incredible lovers. Like, they're the ones who can, like, I can sexually heal you. I can spiritually heal you. I can energetically heal you. Like, they're the ones who be doing all that shit. Like, that's Pisces women. And I do think that they know what they're talking about when it comes to that. But they be displacing their energy. They be giving their energy to the wrong men. Pisces. And they're so sensitive. And that's not a bad thing to be sensitive. It's just that their sensitivities get the better of them a lot of the time. And Pisces women are the most prone to being victims of trauma bonding with men. Pisces women, be careful, yeah? Because you don't have to tell a man you're a Pisces for him to just know that there is this energy to you that feels sorry for people easily. Men can tell. Let me tell you how men can tell, yeah? Because it's like, sometimes if you're agreeable or scared to say no, that tells them a lot about you. That tells them that you're more easy to coerce than certain women that they're thinking of. That tells them that you are more likely to make excuses for them. That tells them that you are a bit scared of them. Some men take advantage of that. Pisces women are the ones who, on the first date, they be telling men how they were traumatized by all their exes, and when they were 5, the dad left. Like, why are you telling these men that? Why are you oversharing that? Because it's like they're doing it in a bid to try and not emotionally blackmail. I think that's a reach, but like, they're trying to kind of like emotionally engineer that man to hopefully rescue them from this sad story that they're living in. That's a recurring pattern of men treating them badly. That's not how it works, girl. If you've constantly been in a pattern of men treating you badly, the next guy you're dating genuinely does not need to know that. He doesn't. Why does he have to have that information? Why do you see that information as mandatory information for him to know? He's not your savior. Why? What do you think is going to happen when you tell him that? I've said this before on a previous podcast. If you're telling men your trauma and you're telling them in detail about all the things that have gone wrong for you in the past when dating men, do you think they're not going to replicate that problem for you? Hey, Pisces women, you got to be so careful, girl. You need to learn how to lie better. I know you see it as like, oh, it's spiritually staining you to lie. Okay, well, let's see how it works out for you when you keep on being truthful to these men who are going to take advantage of your truth. Let's see how that works out for you. As a Pisces woman, it's in your interest to protect yourself by learning how to be more discerning of who deserves your truth at what stage in knowing them. As a Pisces woman, it benefits you to be more discerning in who deserves your healing energy. Not everyone deserves it. Sometimes let these men be broken. They'll be fine. They'll heal. They'll find someone else that will help them. It doesn't have to be you. It doesn't have to be you, yeah? Because you're giving and giving and giving, and then you become resentful, and then you start expecting that they will do the same back for you in their own way that's authentic to them. Most men just take and don't give back. And Pisces women have a lot taken from them, and they rarely get what they deserve back. Pisces women are often scared of being stern and standing up for themselves. There's this issue Pisces women have with boundaries. I notice this a lot with like Pisces women that I've met. And it's like, look, if you're going to be dating men don't care that you're a spiritual fairy, nymph, soft ball. They will take advantage where they can. So you're going to have to learn to get stronger. You're going to really learn how to grow a shell around you that will protect this delicate being that you are, because you do not and should not have to change being a delicate being. You don't have to stop being that. I think you just need to be more mindful of how much of that you allow men to see prematurely, Pisces. If you feel personally victimized by any of the dragons in this episode, you're welcome to call 1191. Call Crime Stoppers at 119. I'm joking. If you feel personally victimized, sorry to hear that, babe. I hope that from this episode, you are able to take what you need, leave what you don't. Take the meat, leave the bone. I am not an oracle of astrology. I am making observations based on my knowledge of astrology, my knowledge of self, and having been on the planet for long enough to be able to observe certain patterns. Some things will ring true to you, other things will not. But like I said, in any kind of conversation, not everything has to resonate for it to still be effective or impactful for you. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I really enjoyed recording this particular episode. I love talking about astrology. So much so that we've done a 2-hour bender. I can't believe this. I have spent 2 hours talking to the voices in my head. But of course, before I go, I want to wish you all the love and all the luck in holding space in this world as a woman. Be safe. Be careful, and I mean extra careful, about the information you share with men about yourself, whether that is your past with dating, the area you live, or other bits of information that can give a man too much of an accurate profile of how he can potentially harm you. We all owe it to ourselves to be protective of ourselves. But we also all owe it to ourselves to be as authentically us as we want to be. So even if you are a delusional dreamer, you be the delusional dreamer that you are, as long as it's not putting you in any danger. And even if you are the impulsive hothead Aries that you are, you allow those traits to be useful and exerted in areas of your life that really warrant it, without it, stopping you from getting your bag or without it putting you in any danger. Take all the care, and I will see you soon.